welcome back. If you watched my other video, the one prior to this, you would know that I created this book in Minecraft. It's a pretty long book. It took me a long while, but I made it for a specific purpose. Anyway, now I will be reading the rest of the book. It's entitled the ArseFarce Chronicles, but the title is sort of unimportant at the moment. You'll kind of figure out why it's called that more in the when I start actually reading it. Sorry about that, had to yawn. Alright, so now we begin. So, what did you men bring me here for? You didn't tell you? Well, it's just like media to leave someone out of the loop. Who is media? That's right, you're the new guy. Media gives us our assignments. This is one weird place, ArseFarce thought, as he began walking toward Media's office to get his assignment. ArseFarce arrived at Media's office. What's my assignment? We need something that was taken from us back. What is this so-called item? It's a sword. Well, it actually used to belong to you. I don't know any of you. How would you even know it was mine? You don't really remember anything, do you? I added the really just so you know. What are you talking about? You have been working with us for around 17 years. We have all known each other since we were babies. What's the last thing you remember? I remember my name and when I was born, but after that, I can only remember a few bits and pieces, and I don't remember any of you people. It's worse than the doctors thought. You know, you went into a coma for a month. There was little brain damage, too. The doctor said you may have forgot some things when you woke up. Anyway, I'm gonna add a few things. You went and left before they examined you, no doubt. If I can walk, their work is done. Is there anything else you can tell me? Oh yeah, Fang is going with you on this one. Okay. Where have these people taken the sword? I forgot to mention that part. Dang it. We have been watching these guys for a while. They seem to have taken it to Kravis's old place. I remember him. He was a arms dealer. I took him down 2 years ago, I think. That's right. Anyway, it's time for you to go. We should be at the drop point in about 2 minutes. Why is there only one parachute? You don't need one. Anyway, we're here. Fang pushes ArseFarce out of the plane and jumps out using his parachute. There must be some way to slow myself down. They didn't just bring me here to kill me. Media made it sound like we were friends after all. ArseFarce hits the ground, breaking both of his legs. You forgot how to use your powers, didn't you? Normally you would have just turned into lightning. ArseFarce stands up and says, First of all, wait, I thought I just broke my legs. Fang interrupts. Yeah, you did. But you can regenerate from just one stem cell, so broken legs aren't really a problem for you. Well, since I can regenerate, it's fair to assume you weren't lying about me having powers. If you haven't noticed, we're not alone. Well then, I'll take the 5 on the left, you get the 5 on the right. ArseFarce and Fang fought off the enemies using only their fists. Well, I see you still know how to fight. Here, take this knife and stab that fuse box. That should charge your lightning-based abilities. ArseFarce stabs the fuse box and says, Man, whoever thought being electrocuted could feel good? You always say that. Anyway, the patrol didn't make any noise, so we can fairly assume their HQ probably doesn't know we knocked them out. Is 2 patrols converging on 1 point rare? They must really want that sword. Fang, you have a sniper rifle, right? I never said I was a sniper, and considering I didn't use it to deal with the patrol, I'd say you're remembering me somewhat. ArseFarce and Fang moved up some scaffolding to get to the rooftops. Not fully, but when I saw you dash with that super speed of yours, I remembered. You can also summon a sniper rifle at will, so do it. There is 2 tangos at that door. How do you want it done? We're going non-lethal unless I blow our cover. You always say that too. Fang shoots the 2 targets at the door, and ArseFarce moves in. ArseFarce sees a doorbell next to the door. I see a way in, cover the outside, and hide the bodies. That patrol we took out should probably have checked in by now. Be on guard. Alright. ArseFarce takes on the form of lightning and travels through the wiring of the building. As he travels through the wires, he feels a friendly feeling. Fang, I think I found the sword. I'm exiting the wiring now. Dang it. Sorry about that. Wrong button. Alright. Good for you. Anyway. Oh, that continues it. Anyway, there is some hostile activity on the surface. I think they finally found out something's wrong. They're probably gonna send more men to guard. I see the sword. I took out the guards around it, too. I don't think they realized guys with superpowers were coming for the sword. I got it. What do I do? Eat the sword. That's just its physical form. Why would I eat a sword? The reason I can summon the sniper rifle is because I ate a silenced sniper rifle, which bound it to my soul, allowing me to summon it. So just eat the darn sword. Fine. ArseFarce consumes the sword. The sword binds to his soul, allowing him to materialize and dematerialize it at will. Huh. Cool. And as you can see, the story pauses for now, because they're going to, break the 4th wall and say something, conversation-wise. So do you think the readers have just realized this is a preview created for the purpose of giving background information and to show off some of our powers? Of course no one knows. And did you know many people somehow think a YouTuber's job is easy? That they should be able to produce content at their own demand? And that YouTuber, for some selfish reason, doesn't. I guess they've never done work with editing before. It often takes months to get the video at the quality where you want it. Not to mention, you had to think of the script, then read it again after a while to ensure the script wasn't stupid. Then you edit it, and that's just the script. Just the script can take a long time, guys. If you want a good story, you'll have to wait for it. Unless you want to watch something with a horribly written script that even a 5-year-old could do better. Surely that's not what the viewer wants, right? That's not what they want at all. They want a well-written story that they can enjoy. It's the human way to look up videos in other ways to waste time, if you know what I mean. To waste their time. And they justify this by the use of time by whether the content they watched was good or not. If it was entertaining, they don't see it as time wasted. Anyway, I think we ought to get back to the story. Yeah, we've spent 5 pages of space talking about entirely unrelated things and breaking the 4th wall. There are other pages where the other pages were all just expository dialogue and descriptions which managed to tell you literally nothing about what happened in that moment. In fact, this whole story introduces characters the creator has been planning to use in his stories for years, then he spat in our faces writing this story just to prove a point. In fact, my name ArseFarce is the creator's self-acclaimed nickname and alias. It comes directly from Metal Gear Solid 3 when Eva was seducing Snake. When he was waking up, our creator's first thought was, she's giving him the old ArseFarce. Which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, there's a scene where Snake goes to sleep, and then Eva is sort of changing in his face. It doesn't show everything, of course. You mostly just see her butt. Not the exposed butt. Like, she's wearing the underwear, of course. And then you see the breasts, but she's wearing the bra, so... Anyway. She was trying to seduce the dude, you find out later on in the story. But that doesn't really spoil that much. I thought it was kinda obvious. Anyway. Which literally translates to butt deception, if you didn't know that. I don't know if I spelled corrected deception. I'm pretty sure I forgot to do that. I don't know. That might be right, might be wrong. As Eva wanted Snake to fall in love with her, so he'd let his guard down just long enough to achieve her true mission. So that's where the name comes from? I always thought it was because it sounded funny. Well, yeah, that's part of the reason. All the other characters' names were chosen by whether or not they sounded cool or not, and if the name related to their job/skill set. And now, as you can see, the story resumes. ArseFarce rushes back out to escape the incoming guards. He reaches the exit and sees Fang fighting off two hostiles. ArseFarce shoots off a railroad spike from his mouth. The railroad spike flies straight into one hostile's clothes, pinning him down. ArseFarce then fires off lightning from his right hand to knock out his struggling foe. Fang gestures thanks. Fang then goes on to dash behind the hostile ahead, tripping him and then smacking their head onto the ground to knock them out. Yeah. Fang goes on to say, I appreciate you helping me out, but you knew I could handle the two remaining guys here. Yeah, I knew you could, but why should you get all the fun? Based on the size of that body pile you hit outside, I'd say you took out around 75 people. I only took out 35 people by my count. I guess this means he's here. Who's he? Bloodfang. Or it could also be ArseFarce now that I think about it. Why do their names sound so close to ours? You see, they're what we call variants. They're versions of us from different timelines, who made different choices. There are infinite variations of timelines. However, the set pattern seems to appear where 50% of the timelines have a good possible variant of us and 50% have a bad possible variant of us. So what do? They just like having fun. I forgot to include having thing. Oh, they just like fun. I didn't need having, actually. They just like fun, so normally giving them a great fight will cause them to return home. Also, because I know you were wondering, they look just like you and me. The only difference being that they are a recoloring of ourselves, and they might have a few extra scars. It depends. The scars, tell you which dimension they're from. I didn't have enough space to do all this, because if you saw the video before, I read the end, because I was using the end for a special thing, kind of, to talk about something. While there is more than one bad variant, there's more than one bad variant of us, they're all given a common name of Bloodfang and ArseFarce, and every good variant is called Fang and ArseFarce. Which, if you've noticed what this series I'm actually going to call it, is the ArseFarce Chronicles. ArseFarce is the main character. Fang is more of the, kind of like, if you think of Metal Gear Solid, Fang is basically Cause, except a Cause that actually goes out into the battle and fights with you, pretty much, rather than staying back at base for support. I mean, in the Phantom Pain, you kind of can't really fight, because, if you've seen the Phantom Pain, you would know why. Or played it, more like. I played it some, so. I probably had him in one of my videos. Having the naming system this way allows the creator not to need to remember hundreds of different names for recolorizations of the same character. Well, that's complicated. They have the same powers as us too, right? Yes, we have the same powers as you good variants. So it is you. You ready for a fight? Yep. And as standard arrangement, if you give me a satisfying fight, I'll go back to my world, as destroying a possible timeline kinda makes a huge mess. I mean, true, I'm evil, but not dumb enough to wreck a timeline. Yeah, it would be pretty dumb to wreck a timeline, especially since we are the same person but from two different timelines. Enough talk. I'd say it's time to fight. Agreed. And now this brings us to where the other video prior to this was. Now that I realize how short it actually was to read this, I will probably include this video first, and then use the next video afterward as a part 2, even though